You know, I'm not ashamed to admit I've seen a lot of cheesy teen romance movies. And a few months ago, this movie After came out, and it almost seemed like the entire world just kind of stopped for a second and said, huh? Now, I've been asked by so many people to check out this movie. Even back when it was in theaters, they still wanted me to somehow make a video about it. Like I said, I've seen a lot of movies like this, so I thought, you know, how bad could it be, right? But then I saw the Wattpad Studios logo, and I read that it was originally supposed to be like a Harry Styles fanfic, and that's when I realized that this movie is for me. So let's take a walk.
There are moments in our lives that seem to define us. Moments we keep going back to.
Yeah, you know, it's very true. I mean, let me tell you, there's a clear line in my life between before and after I realized that randomly asking girls for hugs in the hallway is neither cute nor endearing. So yeah, guess who didn't go to his high school reunion? Anyway, so this is Tessa, a typically average good girl who's leaving the nest and going off to college, which of course she's a little nervous about because what if she meets a cute boy and then he gets to know her and realize that she's actually incredibly boring? But yeah, so today is Tessa's first day of school, and she's up bright and early because the existential nihilism hasn't set in yet.
Are you a first year too?
Yeah. Are you an econ major?
That's the plan. You?
An English major.
Okay, so you're both gonna end up working at Starbucks paying off your student loans for the next 50 years. Hey, look at that, Tessa making friends already. So that night, Tessa's coming back from the shower, and she finds a little surprise waiting in her room.
Excuse me? I think that you're in the wrong room.
I'm in the right room.
Can you please go out into the hall so I can get dressed?
Don't flatter yourself. I'm not looking.
You know, we got this guy, you got Peter Pan or whatever. Like, is there a thing where British guys just randomly show up in girls' bedrooms? Because, I mean, it's almost like some kind of epidemic at this point. Now, despite everything that just happened, Tessa, for some reason, starts to feel a little something for said British guy. Because, yeah, sure, okay, maybe he overstepped like 10 different boundaries. But he talks like Doctor Who. So later on, Tessa's roommate, Steph, who's clearly trying way too hard to be whatever this is, invites Tessa to a party where, guess what? She runs into the British guy again.
This is my new roommate, Tessa. This is everybody.
Nice to meet you. My name is Zed.
You've met Hardin?
Wait. His name is Hardin? This dude's parents named him after a Pokemon move? Anyway, so Tessa meets this band of kids who you know just have like the worst social media accounts. Just like every other post is like that Marilyn Monroe quote where it's like, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Which, by the way, should really be like, if you can't handle me at my worst, good on you for having self-respect. Then they play Truth or Dare because I guess they're all 7, and Tessa gets dared to kiss Hardin.
You having fun, Molly?
I'm done playing this game.
So finally, making a smart decision, Tessa leaves to go wander around the house. She then comes across a bedroom full of books? Wow, okay, well, whoever's room this is must be like so handsome and dreamy and charming and... See what I tell you, British guys just showing up out of nowhere.
You looking for something? He's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
So somehow, Hardin showing off that he knows how to read makes Tessa get all duh. But at the last second, she decides not to kiss him because, fun fact, she has a boyfriend back home. Now, maybe the next day, who knows really. Tessa is in what I assume is English lit class, and today they're discussing the book Pride and Prejudice. And guess who's in the same class and just has to give his 2 cents about everything?
Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth Bennet needs to chill. She gave Darcy a way worse time than he deserved. Love is just a transaction. We're all hardwired to desire. We present the correct set of desirable traits, and boom. We can turn it on, and we can turn it off.
Yeah, okay, Hardin, sure. Whatever you say, buddy. You know, I used to listen to Simple Plan and System of a Down too. Okay, you're not special. Anyway, so as you probably already guessed, Tessa and Hardin keep running into each other all the time because, heaven forbid, Tessa goes to a different coffee shop, and long story short, he ends up sort of apologizing, and for some reason, Tessa agrees to go with him to a forest in the middle of nowhere because that's a real smart thing to do with a guy you basically just met like 2 days ago. Nothing weird about that.
Welcome to my favorite place.
This is where I keep all the bodies.
What are you doing?
I'm going swimming. Come in.
See, Tessa, this is why you really shouldn't go anywhere without an exit strategy. Anyway, so they swim around and end up sharing a moment where they stare at each other for a really long time, which, pro tip, only works in this movie and, like, Twilight. Because let me tell you, it turns out girls don't really appreciate it when you go around, like... And then we get to this part.
I thought that you just wanted to be friends.
I don't think we can ever be just friends.
You've known each other for like 2 days. 2 whole days. Anyway, so then they end up doing a bunch of kissing. And now I guess they both kind of like each other, so who could have seen this coming? So after this, they go to like a diner or whatever and talk about feelings and stuff.
Why do you have all those romance novels if you don't believe in love?
Who says I don't believe in love?
You did in Soto's class.
Maybe don't believe everything I say then.
But then Hardin's friends show up and suddenly he's all like, I don't like you, okay? I don't date, I just take girls to the forest and throw them in the lake, all right? So Tessa goes home all grumpy because boys are dumb. Now the next day, Tessa's boyfriend Noah shows up and they get to spend the whole day together. This of course upsets Hardin because... and he goes home and just kind of trashes the whole place. Now, Tessa hears about this and that night goes to comfort Hardin because, I mean, hey, who wants to sit at home with their boyfriend watching Netflix when you could be babysitting?
I'm sorry for how I treated you.
If you don't date, if that's how you feel.
I don't think that is how I feel anymore.
But anyway, so then somehow, for some reason, they end up almost kind of sort of doing the old devil's tango, while Hardin gives us little gems like this.
You don't ever have to cover up. Not for me.
What does that even mean? Anyway, so the next morning, Noah finds out what's been going on and breaks up with Tessa. But I mean, come on. Luscious curly hair, broad shoulders, a chin that could crack diamonds, and you're gonna give all that up for this? A guy with the King and Queen of Hearts tattooed on his fingers? I mean, come on, Tessa, I thought you were supposed to be one of them smart kids. So that night, Tessa goes over to Hardin's house and they sit on the roof and have a little heart-to-heart talk.
I hate myself for what I did to him. Noah's my best friend. But you're so much more.
What are you talking about, Tessa? Anyway, so 2 seconds later, Tessa completely forgets about Noah, and we get this overly long montage of her and Hardin doing all kinds of cute, fun things and being all happy, you know, whatever that's like. And the main takeaway from all this about what is so alluring about Hardin is that he's spontaneous. You know, he shows up at random times and makes Tessa stop whatever she's doing and hang out with him instead. And apparently, this is a romantic thing to do. But like, all I see is some guy who clearly has no life. I mean, does he go to class? Any hobbies at all, this guy? He's just like, hey, so I know your single mom is paying thousands of dollars for you to be here, but like, what if you never went to class and the whole day we just sat around being like, blah, 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 blah. Now, during one of these little rendezvous things or whatever, Tessa's mom barges in and sees her precious little girl doing some kind of, oh Lord, and takes Tessa out of the room for a little talk.
And after all this work, and you are gonna throw it away for some boy.
What are you talking about? I'm not.
You're gonna break up with this boy, and you are gonna focus on your schoolwork.
Do you know what it has been like trying to be perfect for you? Having you mold my life.
I'm sorry, I just want to give a quick shout out to this kid walking in the background. Mind my own business, mind my own business. Anyway, back to the actual movie.
This is my life, and you have to let me live it.
Is that really what you want?
Yes.
If I leave now, you're cut off.
But yeah, so shockingly, Tessa and Hardin keep seeing each other and going on these super romantic dates and have pillow fights and they move in together. What? And everything's just so perfect. Except, of course, the biggest problem with any new relationship, which is now Tessa has to hold her farts in again. But besides that, surely nothing's gonna come along and ruin this, right guys? Anyway, one day, Tessa's on the couch reading a book, like a nerd, and Hardin's phone suddenly starts getting a whole bunch of texts. Now, Tessa tries to ignore it because she's gotta find out if the man in the yellow hat's gonna rescue Curious George in time for dinner. But the texts keep coming. So she takes a little peek at his phone and things look a little suspicious here.
What's all this about? What didn't you tell me?
Nothing. I don't know what she's talking about.
You don't know what she's talking about.
I need to go.
What? Now? Pardon, answer me. Where are you going?
Out. Do you trust me?
So Hardin storms off and is gone for basically the whole day, and he's not answering his phone. But then Tessa gets this weird cryptic text from one of Hardin's friends and heads out to find the truth. Now she kind of goes on this like wild goose chase for a little bit and ends up at the diner from before. All of Hardin's friends are there, and everyone seems to be in on the joke except for Tessa. But when Hardin shows up, that's when we all get to know what's really been going on.
Remember Truth or Dare?
I'm done playing this game.
I like this girl.
Looks like Hardin Scott just got his first rejection.
You lot don't think I can make it happen?
Make what happen, Hardin?
Here's a dare. Make her fall in love with me.
You know, Tessa, I mean, look, your mom tried to warn you, I tried to warn you, I told you, it's a bad idea to fall for a guy with more red flags than, like, the Beijing Olympics, all right? I don't know what to tell you, I mean, it's kind of all on you at this point. So anyway, Tessa runs away in the rain because
rain makes everything more dramatic.
Hops on a bus back home and has to say those words that every teenager dreads more than anything. You were right, Mom.
What happened?
I don't really want to talk about it. I came here to say that I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
And then she makes up with Noah and goes back to school. You know, just trying to put her life back together after Hardin came in and destroyed everything, you know, like boys do. And after some time passes, one day, Tessa gets a package from Hardin. And against all of our better judgment, she opens it and reads his apology letter.
From Darcy to Heathcliff, I thought they were fools, that love was something fictional, only found in worn pages of a book. But that has all changed since I met my Elizabeth Bennet. I'm sorry. You once asked who I loved most in this world. It's you.
Yeah, that's where the movie ends. So I guess they're back together now? Which kind of ruins all the character growth and development that Tessa just had like 5 seconds ago. You know, it's like when your friend breaks up with their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and then you're like, I never even liked them anyway. I mean, you could do so much better than that. They're dumb. But then they get back together like the next day, and you have to pretend like you didn't just say all that? Yeah, so this movie's kind of like exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Although, to be honest here, if this was on Lifetime or like the Hallmark Channel or something, like it would be fine, I guess. But for a full-on movie in movie theaters based on a best-selling book, I mean, what were they trying to do here? To be fair, I'm sure the actors and everyone probably did the best they could with what they were given, but like, this makes the Twilight movies look like masterpieces. Well, if you thought 2020 couldn't get any worse, they made a sequel to the movie After. You know, the Citizen Kane of movies that make you feel like maybe the dinosaurs had it all figured out. Now, to be fair, the movie was more or less just a run-of-the-mill teen romance story of a good girl who falls in love with a bad boy because he wears black, listens to a lot of Paramore and Simple Plan, and hasn't matured since like 7th grade. How exciting. But all the same, like I said, just last week, the sequel no one asked for, but somehow we all deserve came out, called After We Collided. So, let's take a walk. The movie starts out with a little recap of what happened in the first movie, sorta kinda, courtesy of our old friend Hardin.
The entire world is a collection of memoranda that she did exist and that I have lost her. Whatever our souls are made of, hers and mine are the same. A rather pretentious way to open our story.
You think? Anyway, like I said, he goes on to summarize the first movie.
It's a story of a young girl exploring her independence. She meets a dashingly handsome young man who sweeps her off her feet, even though he represents everything she detests, and is ultimately betrayed by him when it feels as though all is lost. The two reunite, a story you've heard before. Only difference is, this isn't that story.
Okay, are we seriously doing this right now? You're telling me the entire ending of the first movie didn't even happen? It's all just a dream Hardin's having in his car? I didn't sit through that whole first movie just so you could be like, look at you getting all emotionally invested in something that I just now decided never actually happened. Dude, what a dum-dum. All the same, sticking to his brand, Hardin broods for a while and then he gets the ugliest tattoo I've ever seen. Like, what even is this? Anyway, then we flash sideways over to Tessa, who's starting her first day as the new intern for Vance Publishing, because as you may recall, she's all like quirky and relatable because she reads books, which no other girl does apparently. Tessa Young, single-handedly keeping Barnes & Noble in business.
Thank you. Sorry. Excuse me, sir, can you hold the elevator, please? Asswipe!
my goodness, is that Dylan Sprouse? He's alive? He's been alive this whole time? Well, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff now? You know what? I don't even need to watch the rest of this movie, okay? Rotten Tomatoes score 100%. Consensus, Dylan Sprouse is in this movie. Masterpiece. Anyway, so like I said, this is Tessa's first day at her new internship, and just like every other movie and TV show like this, her boss is some tough-as-nails Miranda Priestley wannabe guy.
This might not be the best time for introductions. Why don't I show you your office? I apologize for the mess. We've been short on interns lately and we're a bit backlogged.
That seems crazy to me. People I know would kill for an internship here.
I know, it's just that Vance has this small problem with firing them after a day.
You know, the kind of boss that doesn't exist and no one would ever work for anyway. So thanks to the magic of Hollywood, Tessa gets roped into attending some big fancy party thing in the city on her second day of work because, you know, that's totally what being an adult is really like all the time. Now, long story short, she ends up having a little too much funky potato juice and starts believing that consequences don't exist. And then she's like, you know what time it is? It's time to pull out my phone and make some bad decisions because I'm 19 and you're watching Disney Channel.
Tessa?
Hi, I just wanted to inform you that I look hot and you're missing it.
Yeah, okay, Tessa, I don't know. Between you and me, you kind of just look like that thing you get in Breath of the Wild after you find all the Korok seeds. So Hardin gets upset because Tessa's having fun without him. How dare. So he goes to find her because I guess she's still sharing her location with him, which is a real smart thing to do with your alcoholic, extremely volatile ex-boyfriend. Anyway, so then Hardin barges into Tessa's hotel room, and you'll never guess what he sees.
Hi. Are you trying to get me kicked out of this place?
Yeah, come on in, why don't you? Hey.
Hey, Hardin, good to see you. Hi.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. Turns out what happened was Tessa and Dylan Sprouse, aka Trevor, were talking about a bunch of nerdy book stuff or whatever.
So, Tessa. Tessa Young. Why the hell are you in publishing?
Well, I love to read.
That makes sense.
What's your favorite book?
It's The Principles of Economics by Alfred Marshall.
Whew, well, I do declare, go and get me a tall glass of sweet tea there, Jebediah. It's getting all hot and steamy in here. And then Tessa threw something at him, which made him spill his wine all over himself, hence this scene. Now, it turns out Trevor and Hardin know each other because Hardin used to work at Vance like a year ago or something, and he and Trevor were like friends or whatever, and we never really learned exactly what happened, but now they just kind of hate each other.
How do you two know each other?
Hardin worked at Vance last year.
He did?
Yeah, same position as you, actually. Kind of a sad story. We were best of friends, and then we became lovers. And then I found a red hair on my pillow.
Hilarious.
And so, wouldn't you know, Tessa somehow finds herself wrapped up in a love triangle between Harry Styles and Dylan Sprouse, of all people. Did I mention this is a Wattpad movie? So for the next little while, we basically just get a bunch of scenes of Trevor being all smart and resourceful and clever and emotionally balanced, and then Hardin's just kind of like... One day, Tessa goes back to Hardin and her's old apartment from the first movie to pick up some things she left there because you know how like girls always just leave stuff and then after you break up it's like, hey, so sorry to call you out of the blue, but like, are you gonna come get all your Polly Pocket stuff? What about all these bobby pins I found in my house? Also, can I get at least like one of my sweatshirts back? But while she's there, you'll never guess what happens.
Well, here we are. I could run you a bath if you'd like to get more comfortable.
I would love that. I remember when you and I used to take baths together. Oh my goodness, Tessa?
Tessa.
Hardin's mother.
So not only is Hardin's mom meeting Tessa for the first time, but we also come to find out that she doesn't know they broke up in the first place, and for some inexplicable nonsense reason, they can't tell her because that would require a mature adult conversation, and obviously we can't have any of those because this is a teen romance. And so in a shocking plot twist no one ever saw coming, Hardin and Tessa have to pretend that they're still together because...
I'm just gonna grab a blanket and sleep on the floor.
You don't think we could share the bed or not? You know?
Do you?
Well, I'd like to think that we're not total Neanderthals.
What? What does that even mean? Anyway, they sleep in the same bed that night. And after a few other little adventures, they end up deciding to give their relationship one more try because it worked out so well the first time. Hey Tessa, you know how I have a drinking problem and my reaction to the slightest bit of criticism is completely overblown and then I just brood for like a week and don't even talk to you at all? And then somehow I turn it around and gaslight you until you think you're the one with the problem? Yeah, like what if we just kept on doing that forever? My brain isn't fully formed yet, so I'm gonna say yes. But yeah, so now they're back together again.
Do you promise to act like this every day?
No. But I'll try. Whatever it takes.
And somehow this all takes up like 60% of the movie. So the first half of the movie is just like, and then the second half of the movie is like, yeah, it's a lot. Hardin takes Tessa to go see his dad for like Christmas or something, and then he's all like, time to get grumpy, harumph, and goes home to throw some lamps around and listen to his Raycons. Earbuds for the angry emo in all of us. Or then they go to this like party at some frat house or whatever, and then of course Hardin's old girlfriends are there, one of whom Hardin sneaks off with all night. And would you believe Tessa's not real thrilled about this and handles it with all the wisdom and maturity of a 19-year-old who suddenly has to deal with the results of her own choices.
Huh? You just kissed that girl?
No, you don't get to cry!
And yeah, what did you do, huh?
Nothing! The
Fire truck.
f is wrong
She
with you?
just said that she doesn't kiss and tell.
You should know I would never
Fire truck.
cheat on you!
Were you with her tonight? Is she who you disappeared with the whole night?
Yes!
You're never gonna trust me.
Trust you? You think that I should trust you?
Yes!
Where has that ever gotten me?
Psh, oh, come on, Tessa. Who doesn't want to be yelling in the front yard of a frat house at 1 in the morning with eyeliner and mascara running down your face? I mean, it's one of the few things white girls are even good at. Now, in between all of this, Tessa has a few little choice moments with Trevor, who's really the only sensible voice of reason in the entire movie.
Well, you know, I don't leave tomorrow. We could still... That's stupid. Tessa, my sister has struggled with addiction her whole life. This thing between you and Hardin, it's not gonna end well.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, Trevor, I'll have you know that I'm a teenage girl who reads books, and being miserable is the only thing that makes me interesting. Anyway, so then Tessa gets hit by a car. But then she's fine. After all this happens, we flash over to see Hardin at his mom's place talking about feelings and stuff.
Did you hear that Vance was moving to Seattle?
Tessa's going too. How did you know?
He's having a going away party on Sunday, and I think you should go get her.
No, I can't.
Can't? Or you don't want to face what you left behind?
Mum, I'm not...
Pardon? I love you, but you have to start fighting for what really matters.
What mom would ever give this advice? Hey son, you know what you should do is plan out your entire life around this one girl you met when you were like 20. Yeah, this is definitely how real parents talk. Anyway, so the end of the movie is yet again another party thing because Vance Publishing is moving to Seattle, which also means that Trevor and Tessa are going as well because Tessa was just such a gosh darn good intern that now she has a job there, I guess. But as Tessa and Trevor get to talking, we learn an interesting little bit of information that doesn't actually mean anything, but here you go.
In the hospital, I answered your cell phone. It was Hardin, and I told him to stay away from you. And I do realize that I let my emotions get the best of me, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you okay?
I'm sorry. I don't know why this is so funny. Although, to be fair, this is also the same sound I make when anyone ever tries to call me on the phone. But anyway, somehow, of course, Hardin shows up at this party to win Tessa back, or whatever he's doing up there, and she sees him and runs out the door. So he follows her outside, and we get the final scene of the movie.
I tried.
And then she hops in the car, never sees Hardin again because she realizes that she's way better off without him, and Trevor's better in like every way possible, so what's even the point, you know what I'm saying? Are you freaking kidding me? You chose this when you could have had this? So once again, just like every teen romance story / movie since like ever, I guess, we have a story of a girl who falls for a bad boy and then realizes that she's in way over her head, and then the universe is like, well, hey, how about this fine young man who's more attractive, has more personality, emotionally mature, has his life going places, he's a real catch? And then the girl's like, what's that? A fun, healthy, stable relationship? Not if I can help it. Now, along with this movie coming out, we also got news that there are 2 more sequels in the works. Lord, I don't know what I did, but I am sorry. I mean, this is like that one circle of hell that even Dante was like, nope, I ain't going in there. But yeah, so we had After We Collided, and I guess we'll all just have to reconvene next year for the 3rd entry, After I Threw Up, or whatever it's called. Well, somehow we're back here again. As if having to watch He's All That and Cinderella wasn't bad enough, the universe continues to spit in our faces with the release of After We Fail, the 3rd installment in the movie franchise that proves that we are living in a simulation that no one is maintaining. So hey, what do you say we strap cells in, get ready for, cause it's time we gotta do more after the movie. Let's take a walk. Okay, so as per the end of the 2nd movie, after arguing about nothing and making up for the 400th time, Tessa and Hardin ended up running into this homeless man who turned out to be Tessa's long-lost father, who drinks like he's auditioning for Mad Men and has no self-control, ended up tearing his own life apart, which is interesting given the fact that Tessa's dating, right?
Oh, the prodigal father has returned? What for? What do you want?
You can stay if you want to.
Are you still drinking?
I don't know, Hardin. Are you?
Listen, I know exactly why you're here, so you may as well just take this and be on your way.
I don't want your money, kid. All I want is a relationship with my daughter.
If you hurt her...
Yeah, you better not hurt her, okay? The only one who's allowed to emotionally damage and traumatize Tessa is me. Now, also, as per the last movie, which I've desperately tried to forget, but here we are, Tessa got a job offer in Seattle that she's really excited about, but she hasn't told Hardin yet because she's really worried about how he's gonna react and what he's gonna do.
You're going away in a week. You haven't bothered to even tell me.
Well, when was I supposed to tell you? Because you left. This job's a huge opportunity for me, and I'm hoping, I was hoping that you would come with me.
I was hoping that we could move to London after graduation.
And how was I supposed to know that?
But I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? You've got a plan. You've envisioned your life in a way that doesn't even have me in it.
You are in it.
Okay. All right, buddy, we are 5 minutes into this movie, and they're already fighting. Now, later that day, Tessa gets a call that she needs to come pick up her dad and Hardin from the bar because they were being rambunctious, shall we say. Which, maybe it's a little weird given the fact that 3 minutes ago, Hardin was like,
Are you still drinking?
so I guess we're just giving up on the whole self-awareness thing? But hey, don't worry, Hardin then goes back home and lays on the bed in his underwear. So come on, what's Tessa supposed to do? Have self-respect? Get out of here.
I'm not sure that I like this new friendship.
I offered him a ride, and the bar was actually his idea.
He's an alcoholic, and so are you.
2 alcoholics walk into a bar.
Nah, don't laugh at that. That's not even a joke. That's just what happened. Are you kidding me right now? Tessa had to stop everything she was doing and go get her dad and boyfriend, who are both like mentally 12, taken back home like a mom picking up a kid from soccer practice. And then Hardin's just like, well, hey, since we're here, might as well. Well, shoot, you talked me into it. Anyway, now that Tessa's dad is back on his feet, he just kind of leaves for the entire rest of the movie almost. They made it seem like such a huge deal that he's back in Tessa's life now, and then he's just gone after 15 minutes. But either way, it's been 30 seconds since our main characters last had a fight, so guess what they do?
It's not like I want to leave you.
You don't have to.
Vance's offer, it's a dream come true. I've wanted to live in Seattle since I was a kid, and the only thing that would make it better is if you came with me.
I don't really fit into that flashy lifestyle, and it's never been the kind of thing you've been after, so I don't...
Wait. Flashy Seattle lifestyle? What, you mean the city where everyone wears flannel shirts and goes to restaurants where you have to, eat food out of a shoe or something? That's too flashy for you?
I am listening.
I've wanted this job
listening.
since
I know. You have a great job in Seattle. That is great. I'm happy for you, but I don't have anything there.
You'd have me.
Okay, that's not enough.
Well, if I'm not enough, that's your problem, but you're not gonna stop me.
You know, this is like the angriest I've ever seen Harden in the entire series. Okay, who puts an empty box of Frosted Flakes back in the pantry? Who does that, Tessa? Now that weekend, Tessa and Harden go up to the lake with Tessa's friend, whose name I can't really remember because he basically does nothing of any consequence in these movies, and also with his friend's family. So, you know, it's just wonderfully awkward. Having just made up again, things are pretty good between Tessa and Harden on this trip, which of course means that all we gotta do is just sit tight for about 5 seconds and,
Thank you.
Harden?
Hey, Lily. How are you? How are you?
No fucking way, it's
Long time, man. This is Tessa. Tessa Lillian.
Hi. Nice dress.
uh-oh, I saw that look. I know what's going on here when she's all like, nice dress. But don't worry, everybody, okay? Tessa gets her sweet revenge by, talking to the waiter.
And for you?
Is there anything that you'd recommend?
The cedar plank salmon is our specialty.
Okay. I'm more into, like, pasta.
Squid ink spaghetti. It was lovely to see you and to meet you guys, but I'll have to go, so. Too fancy. How about we whip you up something special?
All right, hold on a second here. So, like, Harden gets to be all touchy-touchy with these Instagram model girls, but Tessa talks to the waiter like a human being one time, and then Harden's all like... But hey, whatever, it's fine, because thanks to all the extra tension, Tessa and Harden end up doing the old
Devil's Tango
in a public hot tub. You know, one of the grossest places you could ever possibly do that. And then immediately afterwards, okay, like literally 20 seconds, Harden's all like, hey, let's talk about Trevor.
I'd rather not.
Did you ever like him?
For like 3 minutes, I guess.
Did you love him?
No. Did you hear what I just said?
Oh yeah, well, I think you did, so now I'm grumpy.
Hey, seriously? That's not fair. Harden!
Now later that night, Tessa's out by herself, and what do you know, she runs into that waiter guy from earlier, and they get to talking about life and a bunch of boring stuff, whatever, who cares? But you'll never guess what happens.
Probably should have worn a coat.
I'm really sorry about all of...
You don't have to apologize.
Sorry. It was nice meeting you.
You too. If someday you find yourself in the city...
Oh.
Give me a call.
But you know, real talk here, okay, this guy's kind of a sleazebag, right? Because, like, he knows she has a boyfriend, but he's still like, hey, in case something ever happens, I'll be your backup plan. You know what I'm saying? But then also, like, Tessa keeps it anyway. I mean, it's one thing for Harden to get all harumph about some dude flirting with his girlfriend or whatever, but then for her to get his number and keep it, like, I don't know, man, that just doesn't really seem like the smartest thing she could have done. But all the same, guess who's having some feelings?
I thought that we were gonna be more open with each other.
So did I.
I didn't ask for his number, he just gave it to me.
No, I just found another guy's number in your things.
Okay, Harden, but like, have you ever thought about maybe instead of just brooding about it all morning and then jumping to conclusions and letting it all just explode out of nowhere like this, what if he just asked her about it? I mean, the way this dude deals with his feelings is such a dumb, immature way of doing things. Like, why would anyone ever do that?
Yeah, Alex, who would ever do that?
Hey, who asked you? Get out of here.
You guys just met. How could you be friends?
This is what you do. You sabotage every good moment that we have.
No. If I wanted to try and sabotage a good moment, I would have brought up your moment with Trevor.
Why can't you just let things be? Like, let us be happy for once.
Tess.
You don't get to choose who I have as friends.
They don't want to be your
fire truck
friends, okay?
But then after this fight, which is like the 12th one so far in this movie, Harden's being all Edward Cullen in the car as they're about to go home. And this is when Tessa and her friend's dad, I think, have a little heart-to-heart talk about how to live, laugh, love.
He is scared of losing you. He loves you, and he knows that you're the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Well,
No, Tessa, it's true. You changed his life. He knows it.
Okay, Mr. Dude Man. Like, I know you just tried to help or whatever, but like, this is the worst advice I've ever heard. Hey, so like, I know Harden's the most toxic, manipulative, and emotionally stunning person you could ever date, but actually you're supposed to just like put up with him forever because, you know, he likes you and stuff. But anyway, so given everything that's happened with Harden so far, and the fact that Tessa really wants to take this job in Seattle, she just kind of decides to up and go there and just move in with her bosses without telling Harden, which, of course, Harden takes very well. But all the same, now Tessa's up in Seattle living out her big girl dreams.
how's it going?
Fine. Yeah, I mean, work, school. It's a lot, but it's
fine.
Yeah, I can tell you're pretty stressed out by the fact that you're sitting here on the couch eating an entire box of dry Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So like either you're going through some things or you just murdered somebody. Now Hardin, being back home in the apartment all by himself, he finds one of Tessa's journal diary things she left behind, I guess, which just has the word pain written like 800 times. And he's all like, wow, dude, this is so deep. And somehow reading this convinces him to follow her up to Seattle.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I'm so happy to see you. I haven't had a fight with anyone in like 48 hours. I didn't know what to do with myself.
I found this. And I'm really sorry, but once I picked it up, I couldn't put it down. You're a brilliant writer, Tess.
I especially like the part about Harry Styles and Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was a heck of a time.
And I came across that page about pain, and I just wanted to apologize. The way I made you feel is inexcusable, so I'm sorry.
Well, hey, Tessa, look at that. Hardin's finally apologizing. Again. But this time I'm sure he really definitely means it, okay? Yep, totally. Whoop. So now that everyone is up in Seattle for the time being, Tessa gets some even more useless advice from adults who love to pretend like they actually have their lives together.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
I know. Together, under one roof. You two will work it out. Sometimes distance is a good thing. Look, relationships are complicated.
What? That's it? That's your advice? Well, you know, Tessa, life sucks. Tell your friends. Anyway, so the movie just kind of goes on like this. Hardin and Tessa are doing pretty good for now. There's a lot of back and forth, you know, where Hardin's like, oh, Tessa, I don't want to lose you. And then Tessa's like, oh, cool, thanks. Now, one day, they end up doing the old Devil's Tango without putting on the proper protection. And of course, given how these kinds of movies always seem to go, you'll never guess what happens.
This should protect you from pregnancy for the next 3 months. My concern is, you may not need it. It's your cervix. You may not be able to get pregnant.
That's right, nothing. Literally nothing happens. Except Tessa finds out that she can't get pregnant, so now she can, like, as much as, I mean, they can just, you know? Now, the end of the movie just kind of comes out of nowhere. Hardin's mom is getting married to the neighbor guy that she was dating in the second movie, and despite not wanting to expose Tessa to his old life, Hardin brings her all the way to London anyway, because they're in a good place right now, and nothing could ever possibly go wrong. Except, of course, in the middle of the night, when Hardin walks in on his mom and that Christian Vance guy who gave Tessa the job, and he's also been like a father to Hardin most of his life, you know, that guy. Anyway, Hardin walks in on those two doing the old Devil's Tango. There's just so much of this in this movie. And, you know, he has some thoughts about this.
It's not what you think.
You're getting married tomorrow, and the love of your life, Kimberly's carrying your child while you're here.
Is it not?
You're getting married tomorrow. Did you forget? What are you going to tell Mike?
Hardin, Christian and I, he's...
What?
It's not that simple.
And so then there's the wedding the next day, and then the guy's like, wow, I can't believe I found such a pretty lady who's so faithful and trustworthy. And then Hardin's just like sitting in the back like... But then, right at the very, very end of the movie, okay, Hardin sits down with Christian, Tessa sits down with his wife, and that's when we get the big reveal.
I know you feel betrayed. I want to explain myself.
You know, I wish I could say I'm surprised.
I was going to tell you ages ago, but your mum didn't want.
Tell me what?
Hardin is Christian's son.
So the moral of the story is, if you have history with someone, then you can do whatever you want, and it's not cheating or bad or whatever, because they said so. And that's pretty much where the movie ends, with a to be continued, unfortunately. But anyway, so turns out there's gonna be 3 more of these movies over the next forever, and I, for one, have learned to accept my fate. So get ready for like 10 more years of Tessa being like...
I used to think that I could find a guy, maybe I could just fall in love with someone who actually liked me.
Came back, and I came back for you.
I couldn't get a hold of you for 9 days. I didn't know if I'd ever see you again.
So I never gave up, I just kept on searching. But I found out pretty quick I got no self-esteem. So now I'm stuck with the first guy who called me pretty. I could do a lot him forever. Maybe I should have looked at his tags, and maybe I shouldn't ignore all the red flags. Turns out it's not that fun to date a guy that's stuck at 14, who can only express himself by crying or screaming. I guess it used to be fun back when I was daydreaming. But now I got a job, ain't got no time for this snob. The other day I almost fell walking on all those eggshells. Movies always make it like fighting and yelling is how to do it right. Find a broken guy with no maturity. Fixing him is your responsibility. So here I am, the saddest I've ever been. But I can't go back, 'cause being single is the worst thing. Or so I have been told by companies who want my money.
You know, I told myself I was done with the after movies. I did 3 of them. That was enough. I was out, I was done, but then I changed my mind. So the 4th after movie, which has the dumbest title I've ever heard in my life, by the way, After Ever Happy. It's like Happy Ever After, but like backwards. Whoa, dude. Anyway, this movie came out in 2022, and now that the 5th and final movie is out, I think, now, I thought, why not just finish the series? I mean, come on, there's only gonna be like 8 more of these, probably. So the story so far, okay, Tessa's like, huh? And Hardin's like, Wuthering Heights. And Tessa's like, and Hardin's like, and then later, Tessa's like, and then Hardin's like, and then they switch things up because Hardin's like, and then Tessa's like, and then we find out that Hardin's real dad is Tessa's boss, which is like Hardin's parents' friend or whatever, which makes Hardin go, and there you go, you're all caught up. And this brings us to the 4th after movie, After Ever Happy. So come along, kids, let's take a walk. So we have our 2 main characters at Hardin's mom's wedding, at which Hardin is trying to process everything as he always does.
Your dad, Ken, he and I, we were like brothers.
Yeah, that makes it kind of worse, my dude. Hey, I slept with your mom, but that's because I was friends with your dad. What are you talking about?
I loved your mom. She was head over heels with him. But then when he went to university, he wasn't there. He was running around, he was always busy, and she turned to me for emotional support.
Okay, but like that's what Hitachi wands are for, so yeah, nice try, Hardin's mom. Anyway, so as you might expect, Hardin harumphs his way out of there and goes back to his mom's house, place, thing, whatever this is. And of course, Tessa follows him all the way there because she's his designated caretaker.
Okay, we need to leave.
Years I've spent hating a man who, as it turns out, I didn't even need to fly. Tess, if 2 people love each other, there can be no happy end to it.
Don't quote Hemingway at me.
Why are you always trying to find some sort of light in me, Tessa? Wake up!
Exactly, that's what I've been saying this whole time. This whole series should have been like 30 minutes long. Anyway, so after some back and forth, Hardin burns his mom's house down. What? What? You know, whenever Tessa gets really upset, she just like gets new highlights or tries a new shade of eyeshadow or something like that. Or if things are real bad, she'll give herself bangs, you know what I'm saying? But Hardin just burned his mom's house down. And Tessa's just over here like barely even fazed by this. Like this girl is so far gone at this point. Anyway, so Christian, Hardin's real dad, shows up and takes the blame for the fire, and Tessa takes Hardin and Christian's car and they just like drive all night to go somewhere.
He told the police that he started the fire.
He's got lawyers. And that's not going to change anything. He still lied to me for 21 years.
He's your father.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my opinion on this is gonna be pretty unpopular, but like, just because someone is blood related to you, like that itself doesn't mean you owe them anything. I gave you life, food, and water since you were born. Wow, congrats on not letting the baby you created die. Amazing, incredible, gold star for you. I mean, the further away I got from my family, the better my life became, so just saying.
I think I should stay here for a while.
Why?
Because I just keep dragging you into my
Shrek.
Tess, and it's not.
push me away.
No, Tessa, come on! This is your out! This is your chance! What are you doing? Now, Hardin is so stressed and upset about everything, he just sits there and does the hot guy lip touch thing for like 4 hours, and then they end up doing the old devil's tango. With no effort Tessa to pee afterwards. Genius idea. So after Hardin's third tantrum that day, Tessa goes back to talk to Kimberly for a while and just like decompress about this whole situation.
And for selfish reasons, hearing about your problems makes me feel slightly better about my own.
I feel like I'm drowning. And I want to make it work, but I don't know if I can keep fighting against the current to save him rather than myself.
Oh, gee whiz, Tessa, if only this could have been avoided somehow. If only you'd had like 20 chances to get away from this over the last 4 movies. Golly gee, that's just terrible. So, still feeling a bunch of feelings and all that, Hardin sneaks off to go somewhere, and Tessa follows him to this like party where he's all with some random girls, and of course Tessa's like, what? And after some more back and forth, they start throwing out the ultimatums.
Tess, what the
Shrek.
This is bullshit.
Shrek.
And this isn't us.
Tess, there is no us. We keep going round in circles and you just won't
Shrek.
give up.
You win, Hardin. Of course do.
You'd know better than anyone.
Oh, okay. Good one, Hardin. Yeah, sick burn, my dude. Got him. And so, finally, they break up. It's over. The movie's done. We're free. Never mind, just kidding. We got like an hour left of this masterpiece, so... So Hardin is in London, I think, doing all the hot guy lip touching, and Tessa goes back to Seattle to do whatever it is she does there. So she goes back to their old apartment to get her stuff, and of course, that's when all the memories start coming back, you know? She starts thinking of all the good times they used to have. Run for your life, Tessa, it's a trap! It's how they get you! Hey, so I know that we fight, like, literally all the time, and you go to bed crying every night, but, like, what about the 2 or 3 good times we had, like, a couple years ago? Oh, shoot, you're right. What was I thinking?
All of the snow in this winterland used to look so pretty, now making me moody. In the deep woods, alone with my fields, spend too much time.
Oh no, wait, no! They just got Thanos snapped! Come back! But then, right after this, just out of nowhere, she finds her dad lying in the bathroom. Now, if you remember back from the last movie, her dad showed up and became friends with Hardin for a while, but then left like 10 minutes later and just never showed up again. But so, here he is, dead on the floor from eating too much cereal, I assume, given context clues and my very innocent upbringing. So, let's just summarize everything so far. So, Hardin finds out that the dad he hated growing up isn't actually his dad, and his real dad is the guy his mom was cheating with, who is like a family friend. And then he and Tessa break up, and literally the next day, Tessa loses her dad to the evil Cookie Crisp burglars. These movies are just really going for that like triple scoop chocolate shell trauma cone with the extra gummy bears on top, you know what I'm saying? It's like the ice cream sizes at Cold Stone, you know? It's like, you got like it, love it, and then the amount of unnecessarily inflated emotional BS in the after series. Anyway, so Tessa goes back to her mom's house to process everything, and Landon calls Hardin, who flies all the way to see Tessa, even though they've broken up or they're in the middle of a fight or something. I don't know what's really happening. I gotta be honest here, guys. I kind of tuned out like 10 minutes into this movie.
I am so sorry for what happened in London.
Thought we had a love that was out of a novel.
Ha, get it?
You didn't love me enough to fight for me. You gave up every time.
I tried. I really tried.
You tried? You tried? In what way did you try? What have you tried to do, ever? But Tessa, I only punched my drywall 3 times today. Well, good thing I'm never gonna regret any of the decisions I'm about to make.
I'm sorry I couldn't fix you.
Oh, to be young and stupid. So they have a funeral for Tessa's dad, which Hardin secretly pays for, and afterwards, what do you know, they both somehow end up alone together and talk about feelings and stuff.
I'm really mad at him. I'm like pissed off.
Uh-oh, she said the P word. That's how you know she's serious.
I'm so sorry it took something like this for me to realize how much you mean to me. And how much I want to be there for you.
Yeah, so I'm like really emotionally vulnerable right now, and somehow you're taking my dad's funeral and making it all about you, which is kind of weird, but you do have a really prominent Adam's apple and the ugliest tattoos I've ever seen, so who am I kidding? I'm back in. But now, to Tessa's credit, she does stay broken up with him, and she decides to give herself a fresh start in life by moving to New York City with her friend Landon and just kind of figuring things out without Hardin, you know?
But you are so strong, and I know you'll get through this. And as for Hardin, Girl, just do your best to pretend you're moving on, and eventually you'll believe it.
But then, of course, Tessa has to tell Hardin about this whole decision she made, and understandably, she's not really looking forward to that.
I made a decision about something, and I didn't. Because of a lot of things, but I'm moving. I'm moving to New York.
Okay, why?
Because we fight more than we get along, and...
I mean, yeah, hey, that makes sense, and I'm sure Hardin will understand and take this in a completely calm, mature manner. What was that? What is that?
You know, of all people, he knows how much you mean to me. That you're my lifeline, and he didn't tell me, and that hurts.
I'm sorry. Is this dude like 7? I want cinnamon rolls. Okay, we just have to bake them in the oven for 20 minutes. You can have as many as you want. So the next chunk of the movie is Hardin going to like AA meetings, I think, and trying to figure out who he is without Tessa. And Tessa, now that Hardin isn't around, she's in New York City and she's like laughing and having fun. Ha, see what I tell you? Fresh start, emotional turmoil, bam! First thing she does, give herself the worst bangs you've ever seen. And then we skip ahead 5 months. Tessa and Hardin haven't spoken a single word to each other this whole time, but here he is in New York City for some mysterious reason and decides to catch up with Tessa and see how she's doing.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
You seeing anyone?
Yes, I'm out every night being wined and dined.
I'm actually not dating anyone. I'm quite conservative in that way.
This is like the kind of infallible cyclical logic I always tried to use when I asked girls out in high school. Oh, what's that? You're single? Well, me too. What are the chances? Guess there's literally no other reason for us to not date now, you know what I'm saying? All right, can you pick me up, please? I don't have a car. Now they're hanging out and spooning on the couch, and Tessa once again conveniently forgets the whole reason for all of this happening in the first place. Because, you know, Hardin keeps using all of his British man superpowers on her.
You seem different. Like the same, but just different.
The heck does that even mean? And so, what do you know, in a shocking plot twist, they end up doing the old devil's tango once again, and now they're back together again, because of course they are. But, just when things are looking good, Tessa's feeling happy and thinking that this time will definitely be different, which means something's about to go horribly awry in about 5 minutes. When she's cleaning up one day, she knocks Hardin's bag on the floor accidentally and finds a manuscript for a book. What? Which of course she starts reading because remember, she's one of those book girls. I mean, that's what Hardin got her the first time.
You looking for something? He's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
You know, like, what if she'd never even heard of this book and she just thought Hardin was standing there talking like some kind of psychopath? Anyway, so she starts to read Hardin's manuscript.
It was the fool when he met her. In his world, he was only concerned about one thing. Himself. He'd won every bet so far, and this was supposed to be no different. Although in Tessa's nearness, he felt an apprehension this time.
Oh, the after movies are based on a book that Hardin wrote. Yeah, no wonder they're complete garbage. It all makes sense now. And then as she keeps reading and gets close to the end of the book, she reads this part.
Though she was unable to bear children of her own, she couldn't let go of the dream of them. He knew that, and loved her even so. But he couldn't help thinking about the little versions of him she couldn't give him. He hopes she will understand just how broken he was, and see how much she affected his life.
Wait, stop, hold on, what? So Tessa finds out that she can't have kids, and this is hard for Hardin? He's the victim in all this? Oh, well, someone think of Hardin's feelings for once. Now, as you might expect, Tessa's a little upset about all their intimate private moments being used for entertainment, especially since he did this all behind her back and just like never mentioned it ever.
How did you think I was gonna feel?
Well, it's not all about you.
You would never let me read what you were writing in there, and now the whole world gets to. Stuff about me.
I started that journal to figure it out in my head. They asked me to read it in group therapy, so I did, and one thing just led to another.
You accidentally wrote a book.
Well, yeah, Tessa, when you put it like that, it makes my argument sound silly. So yeah, turns out there's a bidding war for Hardin's book, which honestly doesn't even sound like a book. It kind of just sounds like random thoughts he had in the shower. But I mean, hey, the After series and the 50 Shades series have both sold like 1,000,000,000 copies, so what do I know? And so Tessa and Hardin break up once again, except this time Tessa's the one who's sad and walking in the rain, and Hardin is the hot new upcoming author everyone's talking about. Dad, look at me, I'm Hardin. Yeah, I got a lucrative book deal by accident.
Anyway, I'll stop blithering on and I'll actually read something.
And yeah, that's pretty much where the movie ends, with a to be continued. So much like the last couple movies in the series, not a whole lot really happens at all. Like Hardin finally reconciles with his parents, and then he and Tessa break up and get back together like 4 times, and then Hardin trips and falls into a book deal with a major publisher. The movie's like 5 minutes of story and 85 minutes of Hardin touching his lips. But anyway, like I said, the 5th movie, called After Everything, is out in theaters now, I think, and it's probably gonna come to streaming in like a month or so. And I guess I'll have to make a video about that one too. I mean, at this point, I'm just like numb to the pain, so why not? You know, I have to give a high five to the after movies because I don't think I've seen a movie series start this bad and somehow get this much worse. The first one was just a very typical rom-drum about a goody-good college girl who gets wrapped up with the local bad boy and has her whole world turned upside down by his amazing knuckle tattoos. Then the next 3 movies are literally just the same thing over and over again, but like somehow it's just worse. And now here we are with the final after movie, I hope. But talking about the 5th after movie, aka After I Lost All My Brain Cells, is actually kind of hard because, like, more so than any of the other movies in this series, nothing freaking happens. Are you ready? Here you go. Here's the movie. Hardin goes to Portugal to write his next book, and while he's there, he realizes that being a bad boyfriend is bad. Somehow they stretch this out into 90 minutes. Like, you would not believe how many montages are in this movie. But all the same, sure, let's check this movie out and just old yeller this entire series. So, like, as if anyone cares at this point, but Hardin is now a famous best-selling author because he wrote a book about all the ups and downs of his relationship with Tessa, all of which were caused by him, of course. Like, I don't recall the instigator of any fights to be Tessa, or sorry, Teresa, as he calls her. So it's been like 2 years now since they've spoken to each other, and gosh darn it, Hardin just can't move on.
My failure was thinking that I was writing my journey, my story. But it was our story, Tess.
You know, if any other guy messaged you this much, like, you'd probably think that was kind of weird, wouldn't you? So one day, when he's talking to his mom, she tells him that some girl named Natalie has moved to Portugal. You know, just apropos of nothing, the way moms always do. Hey, Mom, how you been? You know, son, I saw there's an opening at the local Costco. They have a great dental plan. Mom, I've had a pretty successful YouTube channel for like 5 years now. Exactly, no girl wants to be with a man who's unemployed.
You know, a change of scenery might do you some good. Might be inspiring to just get out of here for a while. I met Natalie over Christmas.
How is she?
She moved to Lisbon.
And so after like 6 more montages set to the breathiest indie songs you've ever heard, Hardin decides to go to Portugal as well to hopefully help him get his mind off Tessa, or at least figure out what his next book is going to be about, because the deadline is looming.
I've got a meeting, so you can let yourselves out.
We didn't really get a chance to talk. I'm gonna need a rough draft of the book ASAP. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay the advance back.
And so he runs away to Lisbon, finds out where this Natalie girl is, and goes to meet her. But she's not quite as welcoming as you might expect.
What are you doing here?
I was hoping to.
I'm in the middle of an appointment. You need to leave.
I don't need long, honestly. I just wanted to...
Please.
I came all this way to find you.
Please.
I wonder if there's some kind of dark backstory here. So then the movie gives us this flashback of 5 years earlier, where we learned why exactly Natalie is not a huge fan of Mr. Clearly never gotten a sober tattoo in his life. Much like with Tessa back in the first movie, Hardin made a bet that he could get a goody-good girl like Natalie to do the old devil's tango. And as proof, he took a video of it and sent it to his friend, who, in a shocking plot twist, sent it around to all of his friends. Someone put it up on the internet. You know, it's a typical Gen Z love story. But for some inexplicable reason, she decides to meet up with him later on anyway.
How did you end up here?
Just seemed like a good place to start over.
You were on your way to uni, though, no?
I lost my scholarship with everything going on, and it turns out my support system was conditional.
Yeah, also we find out that because all this happened to her, she lost her college scholarship, her family threw her out, I think is what's being implied here. Basically, Hardin completely ruined her entire life, so much so that she had to move to a different country. But hey, don't worry everybody, okay, it's fine, because Hardin feels kind of bad about it.
I really wish I could just go back, and then I'd
what?
I wouldn't. I'm trying. I am. I'm trying to be a better person.
Trying to be my dude, do you have any idea how easy it is to not share someone's nudes? Like, turns out it's actually really simple to just like not put them on the internet. Who knew? And so this is basically the entire movie. Hardin has to confront his past and learns that lying to girls to win a bet is maybe bad or something? Or trying to control Tessa's entire life and also share all the intimate details about her with the world without permission is perhaps not a thing that good boyfriends do, you know?
Wait, you didn't ask her permission to write it?
I really thought that sharing our story would help people the same way that it helped me to get through my shit and figure things out. But obviously, I now understand that I should have gone and published it to the entire world without telling her. I know that now.
Oh, you know that now. Right, after you destroyed 2 different girls' entire lives. Now you know. This dude has the frontal lobe development of like a 7-year-old. No, you know who Hardin is? Okay, Hardin is freaking Caillou. That's who he is. What do you mean I shouldn't put my sister in a blender? But real talk though, as hilariously absurd as the premise for this movie is.
I mean, it's not nice being exposed without your consent.
I'm sorry. He's like, wait a minute. Other people have feelings too? Like even worse than all this is Natalie's entire storyline. So here's this girl, smart, witty, gorgeous. She's gonna make it somewhere incredible in life, right? And then Hardin comes along, completely destroys the trajectory of her future just so he could like win a bet with his friend, right? And like, why is Natalie even meeting with this guy? Why are you at the beach together? Why haven't you pushed him off the boat into the rudder yet? Like, this dude ruined your whole life and you're just like, well, yeah, but like, he's so sad about it. I had to run away to a different country where no one knows me and he gets to be a famous author and be more rich than he already was. But like, you know, he feels bad about it. I guess I have to fall in love with him.
You didn't force me to do anything.
No, but I lied to you. No, I didn't see it then, but I do see it now.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Are you freaking kidding me right now? The premise of this movie is just so hilariously stupid. I mean, okay, Hardin coming to terms with who he was versus who he wants to be. I mean, like, that's kind of been the whole shtick of literally every After movie. Like I said earlier, the first movie is just a very typical romance about Tessa trying to fix the sad anime boy. And after the next 3 movies, it's really just become more about Hardin and Tessa just like putting up with him for some reason.
We're just a bomb waiting to explode. This was a wake-up call. You would never let me read what you were writing in there, and now the whole world gets to.
I never meant for it to be published. Fuck, this never should have happened like this.
You accidentally wrote a book, and then you shopped it around to publishers without asking me.
And now after 4 movies, he's finally realized, like, man, consequences kind of suck though. Am I supposed to feel bad for him or something? Like, I mean, I'm all for flawed characters and character growth, character arcs, whatever, but like, all this dude had to do was read one Berenstain Bears book. The Berenstain Bears learn about tricking someone into giving you nudes and then sending those to someone else / uploading them on the internet behind their back. Don't do it. Well, shoot, wish I thought of that. So the end of the movie is Hardin rejecting Natalie's advances because he's still in love with Tessa.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm still in love with Tessa. I know she may have moved on. I haven't.
And then Landon and Nora are getting married, so he flies there to be the best man. And of course, Tessa's also there because she's friends with him too, and what do you know, they get to like talk again or something or whatever.
Thought I'd save you.
Hey!
He's a bit short. Terrible dancer too.
You told me you liked him.
And then things get emotional. They both realize that the feelings have never gone away, and they do some of that devil's tango, and then this happens.
I can't imagine living another moment on this earth without you by my side, Des. You know, I love you so much. I want to marry you, do you?
Oh, no. No, stop. You stop right this gosh darn second.
Teresa, Lynn, yeah.
And the very, very end of the movie, after all of this, it shows us several years later with Hardin being a rich author man, and he and Tessa are now married with their second child on the way. Which is also just I mean, okay, so the movies up to now have made a huge, very prominent point that Tessa cannot have children. Like, the doctor told us this so many times.
This should protect you from pregnancy for the next 3 months. My concern is you may not need it. It's your cervix. You may not be able to get pregnant.
She was unable to bear children of her own. She couldn't let go of the dream of them. He knew that and loved her even so. But he couldn't help thinking about the little versions of him she couldn't give him. He hoped she will understand just how broken he was and see how much she affected his life.
This was a very important part of Tessa's whole character in the later movies, and it drove a huge wedge between her and Hardin. It was a major plot point of the series. And then, psych, just kidding, now she has 2 kids. What was the point of any of this? You tried to make us care and then none of it mattered anyway? To this movie's credit though, it did remind me how much Tessa and Hardin are just so annoying to watch. Like nothing with them ever happens. That they fight a lot and cry a lot, and then they do that for like 4 movies. It's like the worst episode of Tom and Jerry you've ever seen. But watching Hardin interact with Natalie, someone who's new and has a different personality, aka an actual personality, was surprisingly refreshing to watch.
Come on, just try it. Yeah, maybe you don't know what kind of person you are.
Just came by to give you this. It's still very much a work in progress.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's brilliant. And if it isn't, I'll just pretend it is.
Like, this movie is not good by any means, okay? But it is slightly more enjoyable than the others, mainly because, like I said, it's not just Tessa and Hardin again. I think I've said this before, but watching all of these, like, Twilight wannabe movies, 50 Shades, After, 365 Days, that kind of stuff, it's like everyone took the worst parts of Twilight and then they tried to make that the whole thing. As dumb as Twilight was, at least Stephenie Meyer tried to have a whole world in which the romance took place. It's not just like, who will Bella choose? Because her choosing between Jacob and Edward also had like historical and cultural repercussions. Like these 2 weirdos fighting over her was also tied into this like long-running war between the werewolves and the vampires, and it's like, as cheesy as it was, at least there was an attempt at substance. And like between the romance, there was a whole story happening. All of these other like romance pustules that have grown from the sepsis of Twilight, like they all just took the hot guy with mommy issues trope and then they just had only that. So in all these movies, like nothing actually happens. They fight and they make up 6 times per movie, and then they get married for some reason, the end. But putting all that aside, now that the after movies are all done, the only thing I can say is I'm happy it's over and I'm sad that it happened.